Hi everybody, I'm the greatest living inventor, and today we are doing my invention, a helicopter backup rotor. So let me write it down. Helicopter backup rotor. Okay, so this is very short. It's like a little over 1 page, and there is not much to explain. It's just simple. Okay, so helicopters can land even if the engine dies by using autorotation. Okay, so autorotation this is the key to the whole invention, so you need to understand it. When there is a helicopter, okay, and the helicopter has the rotor, okay, and the rotor is spinning, and because of the engine, okay, there is an engine inside that rotates the rotor, but if the engine stops, the pilot puts the helicopter in auto-rotation mode, and then the rotor is spinning not because of the rotation of the engine, but because of the air that is moving through the rotor, okay? Because remember, if you look from the side on the rotor, okay, this is like the fan from side. Okay, so this is the rotor blade. So if the air normally, do you understand what we are saying? It's like the blade is like the arm of the rotor, the thing that moves and pushes, that rotates, okay, like rotating. It has two, okay, so it's like this. So we are looking now from the side on this, okay, we are looking from the side. So this is the section from the side, and if air if there is air, okay, coming, then it pushes the rotor. If let's say if the rotor is like this and air is coming from here, okay, from here, then it pushes the rotor towards here, okay, right? Because it's moving. It's basically, I showed this the wrong way, like when we want to push it actively to fly the helicopter, the rotor moves like this, okay, not like I've shown to here, but like this way, okay. Let's say in my direction, it's if you look from above, it's clockwise, okay. But if the air is if the helicopter is falling and the pilot is putting the helicopter in this mode, in the auto rotation mode, then the air is moving the blades, is pushing them like this, okay. So the rotor is still spinning and slowing down the fall, okay. Even there is there is a kind of plane that is called autogyro. Or it's also called a gyroplane. Which is like, it's the same like with the helicopter, but without an engine to there is also a body, but here there is a fan, and here it's like a passive rotor. Okay, so the rotor is like a blade. They spin it a little bit when they want to take off, but after this it's like it's passive. Okay, this is passive. Okay, so it's really important to understand this. If you don't understand this, maybe I don't explain it very well, then you should look in Wikipedia on autorotation, because it's like critical to understand this before you understand the invention. Okay, so the main thing to understand is that if the engine is dead in the middle of the flight, so if it was an airplane it would crash, but if it's an helicopter, it doesn't crash, it puts itself on auto rotation and lands safely and very softly. This thing lands very softly. Okay, it's like really easy to land autogyro, not like an airplane. Okay, so so now I'm explaining, and I hope it will be clear, this thing, auto-rotation. So, helicopters can land even if the engine dies by using auto-rotation. Maybe I will write it in 2 words. Normally it's written like this, but maybe I'll write it in 2 words. Auto-rotation. Okay, which means without the engine. Okay, so you can see in Wikipedia auto-rotation. But what happens if the helicopter loses its big rotor completely? Okay, so what happens if we have a malfunction here and the whole, like the mast, this part, okay, this is the mast. And what happens if the mast breaks? Okay, it's like the axis. Okay, it's like this. The rotor is spinning on this. What happens if it breaks? Okay. So what happens if the helicopter loses its big rotor completely? For example, this happened in the accident that Donald Trump miraculously did not board at the last minute, when 2 very rare things happened together. Isn't that suspicious? You can see in Wikipedia, legal affairs of Donald Trump, #business, and Wikipedia, Trump Entertainment Resorts, the beginning. Okay, so I'm putting it in the links. So a few people died from his company, and he luckily did not die. Why? Because at the last minute he did not join them, and this thing was not connected. Okay, so and of course this can happen not just by accident, but also by somebody shooting on this weak spot. Okay, this is a vulnerability of a helicopter. The mast and the hub and the main rotor itself. Okay, so this is like if the back rotor, there is a rotor here too. Okay, the back rotor. But if the back rotor is malfunctioning or just false, you put the helicopter in auto rotation and you can land. Okay, if there is some the glass breaks or something, helicopters are not flying so high that it's that the pressure is such a problem. You're not yanked, sucked out of the helicopter like in a very high airplane or something. But if this breaks, you're dead. Okay, so my invention is talking about what happens when this breaks, to like a backup for this. Okay, so so my idea is to install in every helicopter a secondary main rotor below the helicopter. Okay, so my idea, let's do this in green or blue. Okay, I'm doing this in blue. There will be, the legs will be, the wheels will be retractable, like in an airplane where the wheels are pulled into the body of the airplane. So the wheels will be inside normally when you fly, these wheels will retract into the helicopter, and here will be another a backup rotor. Okay, secondary rotor. Okay, so it's like, and of course it's also connected with a mast of its own. Okay, just like this is. Okay, so this way, in the deadly scenario that the helicopter loses its upper rotor, okay, if we don't have anymore the upper rotor, the helicopter capsizes, okay, it flips, turns upside down because of the air resistance, and now the bottom rotor becomes the new top rotor. Okay, so after a few seconds, this is heavy, this is has air resistance, even though it's not active. Okay, it's like, because it's like, it behaves like a wing, okay, like in the autogyro. So this is heavy, this the whole thing flips, and this becomes the main rotor. And the whole thing looks now like this. Okay? I hope it's clear. This is like, it's the same thing, it just turned upside down. This turn. Okay, like that. Okay, so I just want to say that in there are today helicopters with twin rotors, two rotors. Twin rotors can be, I'm just erasing this. Okay, today's twin rotors. Okay, this is the new thing. This does not exist yet, but I'm talking what exists today. There are tandem. Tandem means one behind the other, like there is the helicopter, and there is one big rotor and another big rotor. Okay, so this is tandem. Another kind is coaxial. Which this is the most close to what we are talking about, what I'm talking about. But this is, they are one above the other, but very close. They are both above the helicopter, the fuselage, the body of the helicopter. So there is a helicopter, and there is let's do this in color so it's more clear. Okay, let's say this is the first one, and this is the first one. And this is the second one. Okay, and they are with the same mast. Remember, this thing is the mast. This is the mast. So here they are on the same mast. Which makes it even more critical if the mast is hit, and also this design has advantages and disadvantages. Like the mast is more complicated. Okay, mine is not complicated at all. It's like two masts, two separate masts. And here it's complicated because all the controls of the upper rotor are going through the bottom rotor. Okay, and they are both above the helicopter. In my design, it's like the blue one is here. And but it has the advantage of more. It has more power. Okay, and this the rotors are going in opposite directions. Okay, so if you are connecting this one to in my design, this is passive, But if you are connecting this, then you should do it to the engine. Then it should be in the opposite direction. Okay, this in one direction and this in the other direction, like they do in coaxial twin rotors. And they have this in they have in Wikipedia a picture of Kamov KA50 black shark. Kamov KA50 black shark. Okay, and other designs of twin rotors, just to make it complete, there are intermeshing. Okay, intermeshing, it means that they are going inside one another. It's like there is an overlap, okay, but they design it like this so they don't crash. Okay, so it's like when they are rotating, it looks like they might crash, but they don't crash. They are in the same. It's like I guess the opposite direction, and they are synchronized. Okay, so it's like one like that, and the other like that, but they don't crash. Okay, and one final. And of course there is the helicopter and a mast and a mast. And another kind is transverse. Which basically means on both sides, on both wings. There are wings, and there is one rotating here and one rotating here. Okay, this thing has wings, and on each wing, let's do this. Imagine like an airplane. And here is some tail, and there is one rotor here, and one rotor on the other wing. Okay, so it's not interesting for us, but just so that you have the whole picture. These are the kind of twin rotors. We are interested only in coaxial because it shows, it's like a proof of feasibility for this design. Okay, so now I'm erasing this, and I'll describe, I don't know how much time, okay, 24 minutes. I'm erasing this. Okay, so in a normal flight procedure, the helicopter will have retractable landing gear that is used only in the takeoff and landing. But the rest of the time the wheels are hidden, folded inside. Okay, so I've shown you it's like wheels of an airplane. They are retractable. They get inside the plane during the flight. They only are open when it's on the ground or about to land. Okay, so you can see in Wikipedia landing gear, retractable gear. The bottom rotor is not used at all. It is not spinning and it is not connected to the engine. In parentheses, the special transmission that connects between them is disengaged. Close parentheses. Okay, so it's not like that Russian black shark helicopter. In our case, it's just passive. So the pilots and passengers can climb on and off safely, and the helicopter stands on the ground using its wheels, so the bottom rotor is not touching the ground. Okay, so let's draw this a little bigger. We have the helicopter, we have the tail, and we have okay, this is the tail rotor, and we have the wheels, but the wheels are the helicopter is standing when it's landing on the wheels, and above the wheels there is the rotor. Okay, but it's not rotating. It's like let's say the rotor has 3 blades. Okay, 3. So one is going to the back, we don't see it, and one is towards here, and one is towards here. Okay, and the wheels and the mast that is connected, okay, this is the mast, and the wheels are between the blades. Okay, the blades are not moving, so there is no problem for the wheels to come out and to be here. I'm drawing this not in proportion because the wheels are don't need to be that long. I'm trying to draw something that is three-dimensional like this, so you can see it in 2 dimensions. Okay, so it's like this is a lot more flat, and the wheels don't need to be so high. Okay, it's like normal, almost normal wheels, like an airplane. And and of course it has the normal. Let's say this is the engine. I don't know how a helicopter engine looks like. Let's say there is some engine here. And the engine is connected normally to this. And only in emergency it's connected to this. So normally the engine is connected to the main rotor, and only in emergency we are connecting it to the backup rotor. Okay, so so the bottom rotor is not touching the ground. Okay, when we land and when we take off. Or in any time, the bottom rotor never touches the ground. Okay, in emergency flight procedure, sorry, 1 second. Just drink a little bit. Sorry. So when we are in an emergency means we had the helicopter, and we had this rotor, and we lost the rotor. Okay, this means emergency, when we don't have this anymore. This is an emergency. So in this case, remember we have the rotor here below, which is not rotating yet. In the deadly scenario, when you lose your primary rotor, the helicopter rolls over, capsize. Okay, so this flips. So now I'm drawing this up. I'll draw this also in blue so you know it's the same thing. Okay, so the whole thing flipped. Or capsize. Because of the air drag falling down. Okay, when it falls down, then it flips. So the bottom rotor is now on top, and the helicopter automatically does auto rotation. Okay, so this comes into auto rotation automatically because it's not connected to the engine. So if like everybody's, it's like a dead man switch. If you are not doing anything, this is what happens, auto rotation. Auto rotation. It's one word if you look in the Wikipedia. Then if the engine is okay and it's only the rotor that is lost, okay, it can happen that this is like the engine is still okay, but we just lost one of the blades or all of the blades, okay? If the engine is okay and this is okay, then what we do, then if the engine is okay and it's only the rotor that is lost, the red rotor, the main rotor, the pilots can even connect between the engine and the backup rotor. Okay, engine and backup rotor. Okay, because if the engine is still good, so this is like an extension of the idea. If the engine is still good, the pilots can even connect between the engine and the backup rotor, engaging the special transmission. Okay, this needs to be planned ahead, and the helicopter needs to be built for this. But if we put some transmission gear that connects this to the engine also, then we can operate this in time of accident, which should probably be done manually by pulling an emergency lever. Okay, so there is some lever. And then it goes to active. This is passive. And if you pull the lever and you manage to do this, then it goes to active. Okay, which is like a normal flight. But of course you don't fly far away, you just fly until you can rescue yourself, like if you're behind the enemy lines or something like this. This is useful if the helicopter is currently above a place that is not friendly for landing, like behind the enemy lines or over trees or sea. Okay, so it's not just for fun, it's just so that you can get to safety. Okay, so that's it. So that's the idea. Of course, the people inside are getting, they are not sitting like comfortably, although you can arrange chairs like also for this situation, like there is a chair this way and also something soft here so that it's like a chair. But the people inside are not flying comfortably, but they fall like maybe 1 meter when this flips, but they can predict it, so they can first of all they are strapped with the safety belts, and then second of all they can predict it and protect themselves. They have also a helmet, and it's a lot nicer than to drop and plummet to their death and explode. It's like it's a lot safer. Okay, it's like the lesser evil. Okay, so this was my invention, and I hope it was clear, and I'll see you in my next invention. So thank you very much. Thank you.